Well, my name is Frank. I actually run Deathcamp, and I'm a musician. I actually played a couple bands, Trip to the Morgue up in High Desert. I'm a founder for Deathbed, which is an old school black and death metal band. And we originally started in Torrance, now we're out in the High Desert. And I also played drums for a long time. I played drums for Crippling Fear. It's a punk band. So that's who Frank is. Well, Deathcamp actually started about a year and a half ago. I was booking shows under Sucker Punch Productions up in the desert. And my partner, whose name is Jaime, he goes into Gamatron. That dude, he only books like mainly rap and cumbia type stuff. So Sucker Punch, I realized it wasn't really fitting with the type of shows I was throwing. So we decided to kind of part ways, and here we go. We're starting Deathcamp. Well, Deathcamp, actually, we had our first show with Abnormal Humane out of France. I might be wrong, don't quote me. It might be France. It was one of those European countries. And they had a tour with Depulsed and a lot of other really talented acts from Texas and stuff. What happened with that show, actually, Cell from Sick and Living Productions, he throws Extermination Fest. He actually shot me that show. Unfortunately, that tour didn't happen. So our first show under Deathcamp was a cancellation. It would have been a great show, though. A lot of times when folks go to shows, what happens is they end up crashing out in their car. They're at they're at the show all night long. I wanted a home for death metal. I wanted a place where everybody that's in extreme metal could have their spot. Well, the early position of Deathcamp was basically me booking shows under someone else's name. And I started being really good at it. I actually had some really successful shows with Ex Mortis, Sacrificial Slaughter, Crematorium. I had brought out Master. I had some really good shows and a lot of really talented artists. And the thing was, no one knew who I was. You know, I would book these shows under someone else's name, and no one knew who I was. So it made it hard for me to actually book. So once I realized that the Deathcamp was something that was mine, own, I wanted to pursue it. The reason why we call it Deathcamp, obviously, is because a lot of folks, when they go to shows, they end up crashing out in the cars. They go and they have a good time, and a lot of times it's almost like a getaway for them. When you go camping, you're an escape. You're going out to nature, you're escaping the reality. That's what Deathcamp is. Deathcamp is for all extreme metal or extreme music in Southern California, whether it be touring acts, local bands, or just anybody that wants to get their name out there. That's what we're for. Under the official name Deathcamp, our best moments was definitely our debut of Los Angeles. You know, we've been booking shows up in Lancaster and stuff like that, but when we came out to Los Angeles, the support we got from the community was just tremendous. A lot of local talent, a lot of bands, everybody in the scene showed up. The love I got from the scene in Los Angeles, you know, it showed me that what I was doing was correct. Because the thing is, it's really hard to book out in the desert. You know, when you bring in national acts, whether it be international or really big bands, metal is really underground. And when you're trying to book in a desert or a desolated area, I'm not desolate, I guess you'd call it a rural area, you have that issue of having people come. You know, a lot of times we had some amazing shows with amazing people involved in our shows. And it sucks because at the end of the day, we only had maybe at the end of the night, 15, 20 people. And for the production costs, I mean, I've lost thousands. But I continue to do it because it's a passion. It's something I love, man. So at the moment, Deathcamp is we're just starting out. But I definitely want to provide a production in full, whether it be producing videos and helping bands with tours, directing tours. Right now we're accepting tours. We're hosting local shows. We're promoting bands in a sense that other promoters don't. For instance, we're one of the people that will get a band on their first headlining act. You know, a lot of times to be a headlining act, you have to have a lot of years in the scene and you have to have a lot of stuff going on. the reality is that there's so much talent out there that there is a lot of bands that deserve those spots. And so we'll go ahead and stick our neck out. We'll lose some money just to make sure we expose those bands. So, I have a weak spot for old school death metal. Look at Skeletal Remains. That guy's like he has that raw voice. It's that old, when you have that old school punk sound, that fast punk beat with just those heavy tones, fast paced music. That's really what my weak spot is. I like thrash too. A lot of speed metal goes into like the guys from Anger is Art. They're their own. Steve Gaines, that guy, he's amazing, and he has a thrash band that's different than other thrash bands. And just like Xathan, those guys, they're the way they do the thrash, it's a little different. It's not conventional, but it's their own sound, and it's really unique. So that's what I strive for. I really like the death metal, black metal, and thrash metal. That's just my weak points. But I do not discriminate. If you're an extreme metal artist, or whether it be extreme music, hardcore rap, crazy ass punk rock like the Oi Scouts, or really fast paced music, this is your home. This is where you want to book at. So as a band with Deathcamp, really it just comes down to actually being involved in the show. So I give everybody the equal opportunity, and I give everybody a chance to work with us. So if you show me that you're at least trying, whether it be, let's say you're not a band that pulls, but you're at least trying, and you're sharing our information, and you're trying to spread the word, that's really all I ask. That's all I ask. The music speaks for itself. I'll put it like this: Deathcamp is really looking up to Daniel Dismal from Church of the Eighth Day. That guy is amazing. He's a grandfather of the scene, and hopefully one day I could be that. I was influenced, and I learned this trade from Jesse from Arrogant Behavior. I've learned it from a lot of different promoters in the scene. ADHD Entertainment, Sucker Punch Productions, and then just admiring bigger promotions like Church of the Eighth Day. Those really inspire me, and I feel that one day we'll be up to par and we'll be able to host those kind of shows as well. I think it comes down to just mutual respect and understanding of each other. A lot of times promoters, for instance, a lot of promoters are in bands, and the thing is they fight over venues or turfs. At the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing, and I think we all should open that door to have everybody have the opportunity. When it comes to certain situations with Deathcamp, and what troubles we've had is that securing a venue, bringing the venue up to par, helping and bringing our equipment and production involved, and then having other promoters trying to undercut us on the booking calendar. Everything we do is legal. We make sure we have control of calendars on certain venues. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a tyrant. If you want to book a show and you don't have money, I'll book you, man. If you want to set up a show, I'll bring you in and I'll get you guys going. Usually we ask for like a small rental fee, and that's for bigger promotions that are actually making money at the door. But when it comes down to it, man, we're just trying to really spread the word of metal and bring this shit back to life. I'll put it like this: Deathcamp is really accelerating. I've decided to take this on as a full-time thing. Before it was more of so I'm just kind of throwing a couple shows a year. I'm looking at really booking some heavy hitter international, national acts, and really hosting a lot of bigger shows. Whether it be, hopefully one day we will graduate to a point where we could do collaboration festivals and stuff, and get the Glen Helen Amphitheater to allow death metal shows, to get the Palladium to allow death metal shows, Grand Auditorium, bigger venues that the death metal scene deserves to have.
Can't wait for that. I know you'll do it. It's gonna be dope.
Hopefully one day. We'll try, man. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Again, my name is Frank from Deathcamp, and you're watching Death Thrash TV.